Hey all, another video. I'm doing a bunch of videos. I just had to jump in on this one. I watched it all the way through. It's a great movie or a great video, great breakdown of paperweights. But Houston Jones, man, I gotta tell you, you're using these wrong. They are not designed to go all the way up on your knuckles, such as an actual punch. That is only how they're shown in movies. They are not intended to be put all the way up on the knuckles. Because when you hit your hand like that, it does not fit properly in there, and it doesn't fit your palm, because when you're making a fist, all the weight is right here on your thumb. And before anybody says, well, what do you know? Well, I have a few, and I've had knuckles since I was, I think first pair that I got, I was 11, but brass knuckles don't go all the way to your knuckle up here. You're not supposed to punch like this because it spreads your fingers out too much and you put too much strain right here. That's where your strain is. Brass knuckles don't go there. Brass knuckles go on these knuckles, not these ones, these ones. Brass knuckles are meant for a not a straight blow, but a hook. You're hooking, because then all the force is on the palm of the hand. All that force is transferred straight to the palm, so that when you hit, you're bringing that haymaker in, all that force is going straight to the palm of your hand. If I do this, all of it is right there into the palm of the hand. That's where the force is. It is straight back. They're meant for a blast like that. Even these lighter weight ones, you don't go all the way up onto your hand. I mean, yeah, you can, but again, all your force is on this portion of your hand. All your meat right here. There's nothing touching over here. Bring them to these knuckles. That fits right in there. You clasp your hand on there. That's your knuckles. It's a misconception that they go here. That's a misconception. I mean, look at the distance in the fingers. That's why your buddy, the masked man with the sombrero, that's why his pinky was hurting. Because when you punch with it like this, all this has give. All this side, there's nothing there, so your hand warps and you can dislocate your fingers. You'll dislocate your knuckles here and here. Absolutely painful. I learned that lesson years ago. One of my first fights where I actually used knuckles, or paperweights as we like to call them. But yeah, you get set up with these and you think, well, the movies showed me like this. Movies showed me here. But that's not true, because when you grasp this, you have no support on this back half, especially when you're punching. So, I mean, even if I grab this and hold this the tightest way, one finger, it shifts. So you lose all support here. There's no support. But if you grasp it properly, you have your regular knuckles for regular fighting, and then you have your haymaker. That's where your fighting is. You have your jab, but then your weakest punch turns into your maximum punch. all that force goes straight to the palm of your hand, actually into the meat of your muscle. I see this all the time. I point it out in movies, in TV shows, Peaky Blinders. I mean, you get people and they have these brass knuckles and they drop them on and then they grab and they're like, oh, I've got these brass knuckles. They hold them wrong every time. You don't hold them up here. You're not punching with it like a straight jab like this, like you see in the movies. Dylan Dog, Dead of Night, same thing. They do the show of, oh, we're gonna punch, and he's punching like this. But look at my pinky. Look at my pinky getting tweaked all the way out there. Even my ring finger here is messed up. The only two fingers that are good are these two fingers. Yes, those are your lined up ones. When you throw a punch, these two knuckles line up all the way. But when you're punching, you want these two knuckles to line up. This throws everything off because all your force should be on these two knuckles. But if you do that, I mean, look, I'm red knuckling it. I can just push on my hand and it moves that entire thing. And look, I put enough pressure on there to cause an indent. But if I hold it here, it's not shifting any which way. I have a good spacing for my knuckles. I can throw a proper punch and not hurt myself. But when it comes to a haymaker, I can bring it around and get that hit in. I mean, think of an open hand slap. All that force is right here. Same thing. You're just adding weight. That's how it's supposed to be done. Now, I'm not saying go out and get a bunch of paperweights and start, something. But if you're gonna use paperweights, then use them properly so you don't break your fingers, you don't dislocate your fingers, you don't injure yourself or him. But if you're going to use them as they were intended, not as the media and movies played them out to be. They're not meant for this. They're not meant for this. They're not. They're meant for this. Because these are supposed to be something that it is, in your hands. You walk into a room, you slip your fingers into the thing in your pocket, and then you pull it out and just bring it across. That's how it's meant to be. That's how they're meant to be. They've been around for decades. Decades. I mean, hell, I think it's even been centuries. This is a fist pack. You have enough pack to keep your knuckles right for fighting, so you don't break a knuckle this way, because holding this keeps your hands from folding in on themselves when punching normally. But when you're haymaker or crossing, you have more force and more strength, and your knuckles, you don't have to cock your wrist or get close to get that straight wrist in there. You can actually bend your wrist slightly and get that same force doubled. So if you're going to play with paperweights, play with them properly. Now I support the hell out of this guy. This guy does a lot of crazy ass stuff. Him and Kentucky Ballistics go crazy. Just, man, some of the stuff this guy does is just way out there. He abuses the hell out of his body, but he's doing it for science. But science, you gotta stop paying attention to the photos people take or videos people make of them fighting like this. You're not Rock'em Sock'em Robots. You're not doing fights like this. You're gonna get some straight jabs in there. but the haymaker is where it's at. I mean, I know everybody, they're cut a specific way, they look a specific way, but that pad, that goes right there. You get in there, and you get your thumb on top, and you just rock away. These are also good for downward thrusts. Smash down. I mean, that hits hard. There's, you get into a fight and you come down on somebody's forehead, right on the crown of their forehead, bam, right there. These have a lot of force, because you're talking, hammer fist, and look at how much meat is sticking out of that. That is a lot. Hammer fist, especially, look at this one. You hammer fist with that, holding it properly, you're putting all the force on these 2 points right here. That coconut you punched took you a couple shots. It could have only been done in like 1 or 2 if you'd done it properly with a hammer fist. But again, paperweights, they are a very, very useful tool when used and held properly. But movies and TV shows have made these out to be used incorrectly, and the average paperweight enthusiast who uses them during displays on the streets, you may get a good lick in, but the average person who uses these paperweights, they damage the tendons in these 2 fingers. I've seen people damage all the way up. Being in the medical field, I've seen several fractures here because of it. When they, ball up their fist and they punch, I've seen the pinky right here, this bone right here, all the way down to here, just messed up. Just like, take your pinky and imagine the tip of your pinky's actually down here, and the rest of your bones are right in here. I mean, it is bad. So, just, you got to watch out with this stuff, and it's just, I mean, these things, they are extremely useful when used properly. And I got the gold version of what you had in there. I've had them for a bit, but yeah, I mean, I've got these 3. These are my emergency ones, but I've got 7 or 8 more in the drawer over there. I've got a set in my cabinet over there. I've got 1 in my nightstand. I mean, these things, they're great. I mean, they sure weigh the papers down, but just got to use them correctly. So, Houston Jones, this one might need a revisit so that you can test how good the weighted paperweights work when held differently. So, and as always, my GoFundMe is in the description. Hopefully I can get a little bit of help here, because I am trying to get on the ball with this. So the more I do, the more I post, the more views I get, the more help I can receive. So if you can donate. See you guys later.